Good morning, fellow humans. And I spell that Huemonds, as in colorful nuts. Here we are in our journey to a better life, or we're on our journey. Let's make the most of it. How about that? So today is Friday, December 29th, 2023, the last Friday of the year, the last workday of the year. We've got today, tomorrow, and Sunday to make it happen. So don't give up now. Get on your thing, have your personal slogan for the year, etc., etc. But anyway, again, here we are at Department of Career Services. This is our 10-minute-ish, sort of, but not really, morning podcast. Or actually, I'm going to now call it our morning program. Morning program. 2 parts are live on our podcast, and 3 parts occur after the podcast, except I already did them before the podcast to prepare for this podcast. So let's all be thankful and grateful that we're here today. We're able to watch this, participate in this. There's at least 7, just remember, there's at least 7 billion people who would trade places with you right now, no matter how bad off you are. If you're watching this, I can promise you that there's at least 7 billion people that would trade places with you right now. So let's appreciate the fact that we are able to participate in this. We're able to do this. Okay, personal note, you notice my hair did not get cut yesterday. Once again, my person that cuts my hair, Sherry, is not feeling well. And my standing thing is take care of yourself first. My hair will always be there, at least for a while. Okay, so here we are. Let's get started. Our instructions for the podcast are down below. I'm not going to talk about the instructions. Let's get started with our breathing exercise. And 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely. Okay, there we go. Breathing exercise designed to increase energy or increase calmness, reduce anxiousness. Depends on the exhale. Short exhale, letting it fall out of your mouth, getting it out completely, using your stomach muscles to expel the air. Will increase your heart rate, increase your energy, open up all of the things in your lungs. Slow exhale, 40 to 60 second exhale will slow your heart rate and create reduced anxiousness. Okay, there we are with that. Today's theme is Clarke's 4th law. We're going to get to that in a second. However, right now I want to talk about what we fundamentally do. This is a, what a baby's there. Just saying hi. This is a 4-part transformational program, meaning we're going to help you transform from where you are to someplace better. We're going to help you on that journey from point A to point B, on the journey. And the journey includes highs and lows, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD, as they call it at Siemens. FUD, VUCA, Nancy King will say VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It includes ennui, excitement, boredom, challenges, etc., etc. That's part of the journey. You're going to hear about that from Seth Godin a little bit later. But so we're just here to help you on that path, and the links down below to the worksheet with provide the experts for you. So 4-part transformational program. The 4 parts are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Focus on all those Monday through Friday. We don't do so much on spiritual, though it's the foundation. Saturday, Sunday is exclusively focused on the spiritual. You might hear the furnace in the background. Haven't quite figured out how to turn it off, so I have it on its lowest possible settings. All right, so let's get started with our planning. So we did our breathing, now planning. After this, you do attitude of gratitude exercise, review of yesterday exercise, and project the day, and then go live the day. Okay. Planning. There's 4 simple things to start with. Say, something great is going to happen to me today. Something great is going to happen to me today. Program the RAS. Always look on the bright side. Focus on the donut, not the hole. Accentuate the positive, etc. Seek discomfort, not comfort. Seek discomfort. You feel good when you overcome it. You feel even better when you have comfort, and it will get you ahead of the other people who are always seeking comfort. Advice from an 80-year-old. Don't burn bridges. You will be surprised how many times you have to cross the same river. Sort of like a Heraclitus thing, but not actually, because what did Heraclitus say? You can never step into the same river twice. However, that has nothing to do with today. Today we're going to talk about Clarke's 4th law. Clarke's 4th law. Bye. Clarke's 4th law. What is Clarke's 4th law? For every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert. Okay, this is when you know you have a problem. When somebody's saying this is the truth, one of the 3 things to look for that we identify with, one of the 3 things we always look for is Clarke's 4th law, which we're going to talk about. The other 2 are what? Occam's razor and the categorical imperative. So if they can't pass these 3 tests, don't put a lot of faith in them. Maybe use them as a stepping stone to find truth. Just very simply, Occam's razor, the law of, just escaped my brain. Well, Well, basically, the simplest choice is usually the correct one. If you have a choice of A or B, what's the right thing to do, A or B? The simpler one is usually the better, more accurate choice, not a complex choice. Occam's razor. Categorical imperative. If you're thinking about doing A, ask yourself the question, if A was a law and everybody did it, would the world be a better place? This is most simplistic. It's right there, the law of, boom, it's gone. Categorical imperative, simplest form. Thinking about doing something, say, if this was a law and everyone did it, would the world be a better place? If your answer is no, then don't do it. And Clarke's 4th law, for every expert, there's an equal and opposite expert. Always try to get to the point where you don't need an expert, where it is self-evident. In doing simple math, do you need an expert? No. Why not? Because we know how to figure it out for ourselves. We know that 1 + 1 is 2, etc. 2 minus 1 is 1. We all know that. We don't need an expert. So one of the problems with non-Catholic, non-Mormon Christians, non-Orthodox Christians, etc., is that you have Clarke's 4th law problems all over the place. Why? Because somebody says the Holy Spirit put upon my soul that this is true. The problem is everybody has a slightly different version of that. Clarke's fourth law. For every expert, there's an equal and opposite expert. So when the Holy Spirit is talking to you, you are an expert at what the Holy Spirit says. Unfortunately, there is an equal and opposite expert that's going to say something different. We can test this very easily. Go to different Christian churches this Sunday, and you will find a bunch of experts. And well, opposite might seem an inaccurate description. However, when somebody is saying A is the path and somebody else is saying C is the path, A is not the opposite of C, but in one context you can say that it is the opposite of C because they're not both saying A. However, the Catholics and the Mormons and other Orthodox Christians, Greek Orthodox, etc., there is one thing that everybody can choose to accept or not. There's one expert. You don't have a lot of experts in terms of what does the Bible mean. So always look for Clarke's fourth law problem and want to avoid them. If you run into a Clarke's fourth law problem, try to break it down to where there is no Clarke's fourth law problem. So in our neuroscience, for example, in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success, we break it down to how does the brain work. We break it down how the brain works, not to where we need experts, but once we understand how the brain works, it becomes somewhat self-evident. And I say somewhat because the brain is a very complex thing. So we take it down to this level. There's all of these other levels, but I think at this level, for our purposes, this level is supported by all of this. It's not going off in a different way. So again, for example, in our neuroscience-oriented program of success, the question is, how do you become successful? Well, you need to act successful. You need to do things that lead to success, whatever your definition is. You need to act and do things that lead to success. You need to behave in a manner that is complementary to success. Right? Okay. So we break it down to say, well, where does this behavior come from? Does it come from outside of us? Is there a daemon? Is there a spirit? Is there, a consciousness? What do they call them? Guardian angel? Where does it come from? And ultimately, we go to, well, we need to have a brain. If we don't have a brain, there's no evidence that any of that is happening to us. So we have a brain. What's the brain made of? Cells. What kind of cells store memories? The lived past, anticipated future ability to synthesize or simulate neurons. Neurons do. Okay, how do we know that? Because if you destroy them, that stuff goes away. You meet somebody that's had a stroke, they lose memory, they might lose muscle function, they might lose the ability to talk, they lose the ability to do things. Why? Because they had a stroke, not because they had a nail through their hand. Put a nail through your skull into your brain, you're going to have some impairment. So we know that it is brain cells. We know that it's neurons. We can also test for the release of hormones and neurotransmitters. We can observe behavior and test for the presence of neurotransmitters and hormones, and we can all see them. We don't need an expert to tell us they're there because we can now measure it. fMRI machines, things like that, have the ability to help us overcome Clarke's fourth law. We can observe something. You can be in an fMRI machine and somebody says, we're going to have liver and onion flavored ice cream. Would you like some? And you'll see different neural activity than if they say peach pie. We're going to have peach pie. Or you're going to see, and certainly you're going to see different activity than if you say hetza petza. We're going to have hetza petza for dessert. Okay, well, we're at 15 minutes and I want to cut it off right there. But what I do want to say is Clarke's fourth law. For every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert. Am I an expert? No. Why not? Because I'm repeating what other people say. They are the experts. I'm just somebody saying things, and I choose experts, and I choose the experts on the level where what they say, they are not in a Clarke's fourth law problem. So when Sebastian Song is talking about neurons, there's no Clarke's fourth law problem. When David Phelps is talking about the magical science of storytelling, there's no Clarke's fourth law problem. Okay, avoid Clarke's fourth law problems with that. This is, again, the last Friday of the year. We'll be here tomorrow, but not talking about how to become successful in a world of machines and men. We'll be talking about spiritual things where our theme is set the narrative aside. Take your beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, just put them over here to the side. You know they're right there. You can take them back anytime you want. They're right there. Just set them aside to look at the world a little bit differently. Okay, and with that, we're going to say thank you once again for being here. Let's go work together, become interdependent on our journey to a better, brighter future, showing our appreciation for the gift of life that we have, nurturing and sharing the spark of the Creator within us. Boom. Mic drop.